In this video, I'm going to break down the QT Quarter Master Toolkit that I created, kind of copied and modified from Bronx's toolkit on TTU. And so let's dive right in. My name is Jack with Devoted Trading. If you guys like this type of content, make sure you like and subscribe, and let's dive right in. So what I love about this toolkit it's all broken down in master toggles. So it's basically like 4 indicators all in one indicator. So you got your AMDX fractals, meaning your quarterly cycles, your true stacked opens, true opens, your liquidity sweeps, and then an NWOG/NDOG if you want to put that on. So let's go through it one by one. Right now, I just have the quarterly boxes or vertical lines marked, and I'll let you see what that looks like. So right now, if I wanted to do analysis on the week and see, like, for example, what this previous week looked like, we've got day dividers. Oh, I don't have my days down here. Let me see. Make sure I can see my days. Days at the bottom. You can see that it's just unreadable. There we go. Okay. So come my days down there, and let's say I'm marking out the week. Like for this example, I saw Monday had a huge expansion, so I'm looking for any retrace back into EQ of Monday for the week. Once Monday printed, Tuesday looked like it accumulated, or it could be manipulation. So this looks like a XAMD week, meaning that Monday looked like to be a reversal, manipulation, distribution, continuation down here. So XAMD. Well, this could be, actually, I think this was manipulation, and then we had SMT up here. Anyways, I don't want to get into analysis, but this is what it looks like on the hourly. And then if you drill down to the 1 minute to do executions, you could customize it to look however you want. I like showing this view only on the 15 minutes and below. On the 6 hours, for example, if I wanted to have my sessions instead of boxes, I could do lines like that, or I could do that on all the time frames, either the 6 hour, the 90-minute, or the micro sessions, the new vertical lines if I wanted to. And then, of course, you can customize all the colors to however you like them. You can outline these boxes with, right now, if I want to do like a board of one, you could do that. I'm not a fan of the borders though, so I take them off. And then, line style, do all that type of stuff. And then these are, this is named range dividers, but I should probably name this like day dividers. This is where the higher time frame analysis comes into play. So this is the hourly and the 4-hour analysis that you want to look at. That's what that controls. It controls these colors. These are the line colors, and this is the color of the boxes. So if I want to just have vertical lines, that's what these lines are. So keep on going down. The names, you can either have them at the bottom or the top of the chart. So if I do that, it'll be on top of the current candles, way up here. I like having them on the bottom personally. So like that. And then this is for if you wanted just to have vertical lines for all of the sessions for the 6 hour, daily, all that. You can toggle those on here and show the labels if you want, and then you can show the upcoming sessions as well. So if I want, for me, I just want to see basically the micro, well, typically just the next quarter session, sometimes the micro, I'll keep that on as well. And then you can control the lines for each session, and then the background for each session line that's coming up. Vertical offset, all these types of things. You control the styling of all that. And then now we get into our true opens. So now let's toggle this off and enable the true opens. So with the true opens, these are your true opens and / kind of custom opening lines. So I define this by the higher time frame, quote unquote macro. I should rename this to higher time frame. I might do that in a future update, but higher time frame true opens. So like your true day opens, true week opens, true month, true year opens. And these are your more intraday session opens, your TMSO, your Asia, London, New York, and PM opens as those labels. And and then, of course, if you go down a little bit more, not of course, but I think this is pretty dope. So these are your custom true opens. If you wanted to keep track of just 9:30 open, 8:30 open, whatever it is, and do those lines, you could, and that'll track those lines. For example, like say we did plotting, if we did all these lines here, and plot all those if you wanted. They're not plotting. Let's see here what's going on. Just as an example, to plot all those, and those will plot the same way that oh, because I'm on the 1 hour, that's why. So when you can only see those the true opens, the lower time frame true opens on the 15-minute and below. That way, the 1 hour, when you're doing high time frame analysis, it doesn't get all clunked up and you get so many lines on the chart. So these true opens only plot on the lower time frames. So for example, I'm on the 1 minute. The Asian Open will only go till Asia. Same with London, will go to London, New York, and PM. And then once these times start, whichever custom lines you want, those will start at that particular time and go all the way to the current candle. So I personally like to have 9:53, 10:10, 11:20. It doesn't matter. But you could that's what you like. You could do that if you want and change colors if you wanted to. And then on top of all that, you have a HUD up here that'll tell you if you're below or above the true opens. So for example, if say I didn't have these custom timeframes and I just want to look at 2 month, 2 week, 2 day, New York, the current session, and then TMSO, we can look at those. So for this example, ideally, if you are looking for longs, you want to be below all of these opens to hunt for longs, for like a retrace long, for example. And then with true opens, the HUD table, you can show, which side of the screen that you want it at, background color, text color, size, all that good stuff. And that's what that looks like for the true opens. Now let's get into the sweeps. So this is where you can see it'll mark out the previous quarter sweeps, highs and lows, and you can either make it down here. All right, sweeps. So for me, I like to have my high time frame levels, my 1 day, my 1 week, my monthly opens. Or I'm sorry, previous month, previous day, previous month opens. I'm sorry, not opens. Highs and lows with the solid line looking like that. So for example, and that'll track all the way to the right. So for example, previous day high has here. Or go up a little higher, probably see previous week high, previous month high. So it'll mark out automatically if it's from before. It's my drawings here. Get rid of this. Anyways, unlock that. But it will mark out those previous week, previous day highs like so, and that'll show on all time frames. And then so for example, if I'm on the 1 hour and I want to see that's my previous month high, previous week high. If I go a little bit lower, that'll show my previous month lows, I believe. Way down here. Or not. Okay. Maybe, previous month lows right here. So it's all right. Previous month lows right here. Anyway, so that'll show on the hourly, and then the higher times will show on the hourly and above, whereas the session sweeps, so 6 hours, quarters, 90-minute, 22.5, the micro quarters, and then the nano quarters. We don't have nano quarters here, but those will show on the lower time frames. So for the 1 minute, now I'm able to see the sweeps of each one. So, but the cool thing about this is that for me, I like to see the session opens as a solid line right here, and right here, session opens. I like to see it as a solid line, and I could choose to see how many sessions I want to see. So if I want to see like 4 sessions prior, I could do that for sweep up and sweep for above and below, and then I can do how many look backs I want to see those sessions. So 5 look backs is where I typically keep it at. But for me, when I'm doing higher time frame analysis, I like just to look at the sessions, see if where price is at, near where price is at, comparatively or just relatively to Asia or London. So I just like to keep that at 1. And the 90-minute cycles, I like to keep that at 4, so I can see kind of the previous, quarters. Um, and then for the line, I like to do it dash, and then I don't like to have a lot of, uh, you know, labels on there. So I know that this dash line is a 90-minute cycle for me, and then I just put my opacity for the label down to 0. That way I don't see the label for that. But if you wanted the label, just move that opacity up, and it'll show you 90-minute, that's a 90-minute liquidity pool. And what you can do is that you can not show the liquidity pool, and it'll only show the sweep. So once it's swept, once it's taken, then it'll show that line. So if you wanted to kind of keep your chart clean on all these options, you could have the option of just showing the sweep, or you can show both the sweeps and the liquidity, the pools, liquidity pools, to see where price could potentially go, right? So I like to keep them both on, and then for the micro quarter, I like to keep those as a dotted line, and then the label again, I like to keep it at 0 opacity, so I'm not seeing the label, and then I just like to see just the previous, the previous micro. I don't like seeing a lot of micro lines on there, so that's what that looks like for the sweeps and liquidity pools. So I think that's a pretty dope feature that you can do. You can either show, if I just want to see the sweeps and not show any liquidity pools, then I could do that, which is pretty dope. So anyways, so I'll turn that off. And then of course there's just the NDOG and WOG gap that you could choose to have on your chart if you wanted. So yeah, that's it. I think it's just a dope toolkit to see, use in conjunction with the SMT indicator that I have. Then you get some really, really great entries, really great confluence. So for example, in, this particular case, where's my HUD? So HUD, where did it go? I want to see my SAC tree opens. Oh, it's because it's not. Let's enable all this. Then you can see really, if I go to replay and I look at the short here, potentially see now I'm above true day open, New York open, TMSO. And if I get a SMT somewhere around here, and this SMT indicator tracks the sequential SMT on all the different quarters, plus it marks out the first FVG and the first IFVG that displaces when price displaces through it, so that you can find your CSD. So if I play it out, see if there's SMTs here that'll SMT. No, looks like there was just a retrace. It's probably higher time frame SMT here. Let's see. I think my labels, I know my labels are correct. Let me make sure I can see them. But anyways, this is not a video on the SMT indicator. It's more just for the QT Quarter Theory Master Toolkit Pro. So anyways, that's what that looks like, but use it in conjunction with the SMT indicator or any sequential SMT indicator, and it'll give you some really precise, great entries to frame your bias, especially framing it with a higher time frame bias, knowing and expecting where price to go depending on the quarter that you're in, and depending on which MD fractal that price is currently in. So anyways, if you guys have any questions, let me know. Let me know what you guys think of the indicator. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. God bless.